Deep within a bleak and dismal swamp, hidden beneath its murky waters, lies the headquarters of the most sinister villains of all time. The Legion of Doom. Deep within a bleak and dismal...
Oh,
And I uploaded the wrong one. I had one that said and special guest, and I forgot to put Comicstorian, and the other one that said live with Comicstorian. But hey, guys, we're here. We have a special guest, Comicstorian. Sorry, I forgot to put that in the intro video.
Oh, it's okay. I'm around. I'm just Benny today, so you got Benny on the show.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
I haven't even popped open the comments yet.
You guys ready? So,
I've got the comments open. I beat you to it.
Dude, I just got home. Like
I know. I was
ran
here already.
inside the house.
Call.
Who's ready to stay brave?
Okay, guys. So today we have a special guest, Benny. He's from Comicstorian, Absolutely Movies, Eligible Monsters, Lore, Epic Games. I mean, like, how many channels do you got, man?
Okay. So, I mean, that's a whole story about my YouTube journey and that. But right now, the ones we focus on are Mangastorian, Absolutely, Comicstorian Full Story, Eligible Monster, Dungeons and Ale, Tales from the Mind, and I have a live streaming channel that I haven't done anything on in a month because I got bored. Comicstorian live streams and then comics in 60 seconds because YouTube said re-upload your shorts on a new channel, and I don't even know what happens with that one.
Well, dude, again, thank you so much for joining us today. The first question we like to ask people is, how did you first become interested in comic books, and like what drew you to the medium?
For me, my dad was the one that got me into it. So he used to collect when he was a kid. So he would collect like comic books generally as I was getting older. And it was around, I was like 15 or so, maybe a little younger, but he had the book 14, 15, Superman Time and Time Again. And I've told this story before that I love that story, but I refuse to read it again because my memories as a kid reading it is that it's just Superman punching dinosaurs. And I don't think that's what it's about, but I don't want to find out what it's about. I just want to leave it alone as Superman is punching dinosaurs. And then what really got me more like into comics themselves beyond that was I went to the local store where edgy kid Benny wanted to buy Nightfall, Batman, Spider-Man 2099, and Wolverine because they were cool and edgy in the 90s. You know, and then my dad also bought 2001 Armageddon. So I read that confused as all hell. But those were the ones that kind of got me into comics to begin with.
That's awesome,
Dude,
man.
That's a great first story, or at least remembering of your first comic book.
Now I
kinda
lost
wanna
in
read
time. It was
So
funny
we're-
because when this took off, my dad's birthday rolled around and I bought a classic trade of that book and sent it to him. I was like, this is what got me into everything here. Take time and time again. And it was like old and yellowed and like the whole 9 yards.
That's
so awesome.
Cool,
I was gonna ask you, are we ever gonna get a dramatic audio retelling of your first book? But it looks like we're not, because I mean, why do you ever want to change it from him fighting dinosaurs?
Right. I mean, it's probably like one panel of that, but I like that image. So we're staying with that.
Dude, that's hilarious. My first exposure to comic books was a Marvel Knights preview issue that I just had randomly in my room as a kid. So I saw like Daredevil and Spider-Man, I think it was Punisher on the front cover, and that's all I remember of it. None of the content
Marvel Knights,
inside.
that was so mature and edgy too. It wasn't even like, like family friendly fun.
Of course not.
I had a pretty rough first comic that I remember. So I mean, Calvin and Hobbes is a comic strip. That's kind of what I grew up reading. But I remember the first comic book I bought at a bookstore, not knowing anything, was a trade of Final Crisis.
Oh, that's really easy to jump into. Yeah.
And then I went backwards. I went Final Crisis, 52, Infinite Crisis. So I went backwards. But I didn't know what I didn't know, so it was awesome.
That's kind of like, so I'm watching this, like, I call them terrible sitcoms, but it's your standard 90s sitcom. It's one called The Neighborhood. Sorry, Cedric the Entertainer. And I jumped into it and I watched all of the current season because they put it for free on Amazon Prime. And I discovered like yesterday that was season 5. So I watched like
you didn't even know that you jumped into
didn't.
season 5?
Because it's just a normal, terrible family sitcom
Yeah.
kind of thing. So it's like there's no through line plot. So it's funny because I'm watching season 5 and all these characters are fine and they're all happy. Everyone's go lucky. So I realized I was in season 5. So I downloaded season 1 and I'm like,
You went back? I feel like I could never go back.
Wow.
I decided to go back and I was like, what happened to season 1? And it's all the characters moving into the neighborhood. So it's like, it's so interesting to see where they are in 5 years, considering where the show started and everything. So that's kind of what you did with 52 and Final Crisis and Infinite Crisis.
Yeah. That's funny. I've never heard Final Crisis be described as a bad 90s sitcom before, but you know what? That's going to be my new standard review. So then what inspired you to start Comicstorian, and like, did you expect it to be as popular as it got today?
No, not at all. What inspired me to do it was to stop fighting with my wife. So what happened is I did the military for just under 10 years and I got out and I had the military mentality still. During the last couple of years, my wife started her YouTube channel, Eligible Monster, for the gaming stuff where she wanted to do Let's Plays. So when I got out of the Army, we were starting to make a couple $100s off of that. And I'm like, well, hey, this is a great thing I can dump my time into because I was medically retired. So I have insurance, I have money. It wasn't a huge deal. I was like, let's dump our time into this. Well, now that I still had the military mentality, I wanted to make videos like 6-7 days a week. I kept getting new ideas. Let me do gaming lore. Let me do a narrative thing over here. Let's do this. Let's play over here. And she was going crazy because she was the editor for the channel. So she was like, I cannot edit daily videos from you that you want me to make. So to not get a divorce, I decided to launch another channel about one of my other hobbies, which was comic books. Because while I was in Afghanistan and Iraq, I would buy comic books off Amazon. And like you with Final Crisis, I didn't know where any of them fit in. Like I hadn't been able to sit down and read comics since 2004. So all these weird events happened and I was trying to keep up. So I decided to launch Comicstorian. And when I started the channel from a business side, I looked at who the biggest channels were. And it was Variant Comics at like 200K, Comic Book Girl 19 at like 150K. I didn't even know Comics Explained was a thing or any of those guys. I just saw those two. And I'm like, okay, so this doesn't seem to have a market. No one cares about comic books. I guess it's just that niche. So that's the peak I can hope for. And we'll just do this for fun because there's no gaming's huge. Gaming can get big. Comics cannot. But I did it and launched it right around the time the Avengers movie came out. So everyone started looking for comic book stuff. And I was doing the audio dramas that everyone seemingly liked. I even started it with the expectation that DC and Marvel were just going to shut the channel down. I was like, I'm just going to do this for fun, and they're just going to shut me down if I get too big. So when we started it, I didn't want it to grow. I literally just did it for like, I'm going to make videos to help people catch up and get where I am. That's all I care about. So I wasn't paying a lot of attention to it. It wasn't until it crossed 20,000 that one of my gaming buddies was like yelling at me that I had beat him in subs. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Eligible Monster still at like 10,000. He's like, your comic book channel. And then all the way to 200K, I panicked that I was just going to get shut down like the next day. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I didn't take it like a business until I did get shut down. Marvel came in and they wanted to shut down the Deadpool videos. And I found out it was Fox who wanted to shut down the Deadpool videos. So I was working with Maker Studios, who was owned by Disney, and Disney at the time owned Marvel. So I used them to get me into contact with Marvel, and I got them to release it, and Marvel was cool with it. And the arrangement that we do now, the no text, the occasional page, that was all decreed by Marvel under the idea of like, this is how we'll let you do it. Don't talk to us ever again.
Have you ever had any kind of contact with other comic book studios, or was it
DC? I work very closely with until they fired like 90% of the staff that would work with influencers.
Yeah, we've heard about that through Omar a little bit.
The problem, and the longer you guys do this, if you start getting the context, you'll begin to realize is the comic book industry on a business side doesn't pay. So what happens is you'll get these people who are great at their jobs. They want to reach out to you. They want to work with you. They want to send you books. And then a year later, they leave. They get a better job or they get a better offer. It's not that they don't like the job. It's that it doesn't pay. So they leave. And then you get a new contact. And then you got to deal with the whole thing all over again, talking to the new contact, figure it all out. I stopped keeping in touch with them at like 2019 because every year was a brand new person.
I mean, I feel like not even just a new person. Every year was a brand new company that owned them.
It basically was at that point. The last time I spoke at DC, Warner Brothers came in and flagged the deceased videos. That was like 2020. And Warner Brothers was like, no, we're not. I don't know why they picked Deceased, but they're like, take off Deceased. We actually stopped doing DC for 3 months because of that. And what happened is I reached out to all, because I got a lot of friends at DC, and I got to the right person who freed it all up. They're like, no, we work with Benny. Let this go. And got WB to release everything. And then we started doing DC again.
That's crazy, man.
Well, I'm glad you answered that, because that was a question that we wanted to ask but didn't know how to ask. Like,
a lot of people want to ask it.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be like, because a lot of people, when I was at 100K, were like, you're going to get shut down. A lot of people at almost 3 million, I think we're at 2.8 right now, are like, how the hell are you not shut down? Like,
let's see, what is Sunny Ra? Let me read your background screen number 1. Jake, I think that's all yours back there that he's trying to read off.
I wish I would have been recording when Benny complimented my omnibus collection, because that
wow.
when I was feeling low, I could just play that in the future, you know.
I don't actually collect the books, like physical books. I only started recently doing that. I was collecting floppies for the most part. I got like,
okay, get them off our channel. We're a collected editions channel.
Well, so I only get the floppies for the longest time, and so I have like 20,000 floppies. And so what happened is we moved into the house I'm in now, and I'm like, how the hell do you display these? Like, I have no way to display 20,000 comics, and it doesn't look like in the back room of a comic
200 spinner racks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, just no way to make this look good. So if my wife wanted to decorate, I took some of the decoration fund, like $1,000 of it. And I was like, I'm going to Barnes and Noble. And I just started buying every manga that I've ever enjoyed, every graphic novel that I've ever enjoyed. And I just like built a library overnight. Like,
see, I can tell that you're not into buying collected editions, because I would probably never dream of going to like a actual bookstore to buy omnibuses, because like you're usually at cover price. Like I'm into like webs, there's a lot of websites now.
Oh, I use the website
50% off. Yeah. I just meant that.
Well, no, okay, let me explain that, because trust me, I follow all the stuff to get the cheap stuff, and I did back then, because I had occasionally get a book for my collection. I like the hardcover, like prestige looking stuff, kind of a situation. So that's why I don't have too many omnibuses, because I can't read them. Like I can't. Yeah. They're just too bulky, and I love them for display. But I want
because no one reads an omnibus. They're just wall decorations.
Exactly. That's why I never really bothered with the omnibuses. But I like going to the local bookstore, because you find weird deals, and I find books that I didn't know existed. Yeah. Because they'll stock the weirdest stuff.
Jake, not only are they wall decorations, they're also speaker stands. Get it?
Yeah, right. Like I've got a few of them. Like I got Jerry Dugan's Deadpool, and like I was redoing the shelves, and I'm like, okay, like how you're just gonna be a bookend.
Oh, why did that hurt me though? Like after organizing everything and spending hours of like, okay, I'm gonna do it in this order exactly.
I did that. Everything's in the specific order, and then at the end of each one, I think the top shelf is Berserk, those super thick ones you can't.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think they just announced another one, like one last one that's gonna come out for that series.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So Berserk's like the bookend at the top. And then like Deadpool's the random Marvel bookend. So
Berserk is a sore spot because Jordan's girlfriend won't let him collect it.
Okay. It's an ongoing joke that I made. She doesn't know about really like manga. And I explained to her what it means when a book comes wrapped. Normally it's like the rated R, like, or it could be things like even like hentai or stuff comes wrapped in. So immediately she sees it and she's like, no, you can't have that.
That would make me want it more.
That's what I tell her. I was like, but I can't have it.
Yeah. So, I buy those wrapped ones a lot of times just to see if it's something I can put on a channel. Like the best example, we started Comicstorian recently because I love manga. I've been reading that in comics since I was young. And we got shut down 3 times for Comicstorian. So this time I just made a channel where I just talk about what I bought and everything. So I was looking for fun things to read to make an example out of. And I bought a book called Dick Fight Island. And it was in Barnes and Noble in the featured section. So I'm like, there's no way this is porn.
I hope.
It is porn.
No, it's art.
Yeah.
I open it. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to read volume 1 of Dick Fight Island. I'm going to see some fun jokes. We'll make a cool video where I'm like, guys, the stuff I can't show you.
Yeah.
And within the first 10 pages is 2 naked dudes wrestling and like another guy's grabbing them inappropriately, and they're just like, and now you can't win. And I'm like, and we can't do any of this.
You can see Jordan. You can see Jordan ordering that book right now on stream. That's awesome, man. So I guess my next question would be like, are comics like still fun for you? Do they feel like work to you? Like, are you able to like, how do you balance like sitting down and reading a comic book and still enjoying it versus it feeling like you're on the clock? You know, I was telling my girlfriend about kind of what your channel is like, and I was like, I could imagine like if he ever has like a kid or a niece or a nephew that's like, read me a bedtime story, he'd feel like he's clocking into work or something.
I don't have kids, and my nephews just watch the videos. And they're too young. They're like 10, so they don't really know what I do. Just that I'm a YouTuber, and they think that's cool. As far as the comics being work, when I was reviewing the comics, that was work. Because I would sit down with a stack of like 30 comics, and I'm very good at reading very quickly, and I'd have to blitz through them and then review the comics. We stopped doing that in 2016, and I was able to just enjoy comics again. What does happen, though, is when I feel I have to read something for work as opposed to wanting to enjoy it. So part of 2020 and 2021, I'm talking more openly about it now because all the stuff actually worked out. But I quit. I literally quit Comicstorian at 2020 and 2021. What we did was I didn't read current comics. Instead, I decided to just do comics I enjoyed from the past or recently, which was Spider-Man 2099 and Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. And we just
I can't wait for that omnibus someday.
Yeah, that story's amazing. And so we did it in 3-issue segments and just did that for like a year. And the idea was, I don't want to read comics right now. I'm not enjoying it. COVID hit right in the middle of this, so I think we all were mentally in weird spaces.
Yeah.
So I pretty much quit for like that 2-year period. And it ended with me launching all of these other side projects so that I can enjoy creating again, because that's what I enjoy. I like making things. And so somewhere in the middle of that, my love for manga kind of got reignited because I hadn't read manga since 2018 when they shut down the last version of Comicstorian. So I started reading a bunch of manga, and then I was like, what the hell's been going on in comics? Let me catch up, and just kind of ease back in and started to really enjoy it all again. But there was like 2 years where just YouTube, comics, everything just got too much, and I just called it.
That's a question that we've asked a lot of people that we've interviewed. Usually we'll phrase it as, has there been a time that you've left comics? Was it like something in life? Was it a story? A lot of people say it's the Clone Saga, what made them leave comics and then what brought them back in. So that's interesting, man.
Clone Saga made young Benny quit comics, or at least quit Spider-Man. And weirdly enough, it was Spider-Man 3, the worst one from Tobey Maguire, that got me to get back into Spider-Man.
It was awesome. The jazz dancing.
Yeah.
It was Bully Maguire. Ben, let's do comics. Joe had a question. Yeah. Benny, I love your Nightwing on video, but do you believe that Nightwing could stand as his own and be a same level as Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Batman, Flash, or will he always be Batman's sidekick? I'm
going to grab my Nightwing action figure and make you make eye contact with him when you say it.
I totally think that Nightwing could be on his own, 100%. The issue that Nightwing runs into is that he was structured to be the guy to eventually take the mantle, as shown when he took the mantle after Final Crisis. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the last 10, 13 years has been trying to build him in a different direction, and it's been totally unsuccessful. Trying to make him Grayson the spy and then Rick Grayson the taxi driver. It was like, what are you doing? So I like what they're doing now, though. I like the idea that the Titans are going to become kind of the new Justice League, and they're leading into this new era where he might lead the DC universe.
The current Nightwing run is awesome.
Yeah. It's incredible. I can't get over it. I loved Nightwing Rebirth all the way up until Rick Grayson, and I think like most fans, we all just said, "Wow, this is stupid."
I just like I read like the original concept was like he was gonna get vertigo and be afraid of heights, and like that sounded interesting, and then they went in such a terrible direction with it.
I think I could have been fine if it wasn't 2.5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew what they were doing.
The first arc should not have ended with him deciding to make 4 new Nightwings in Bloodhaven. It should have ended with, oh wow, that's who I was. I should start working on that, and then move back in that direction, discovering who he is. It blew my mind that they went in the direction they did.
My next question, I guess, is because you have so many different types of videos, is there like a type of video you enjoy more? Is it the stuff like Absolutely where you're on camera? Is it like Dungeons and Dragons or gaming content? Or is it the audio dramas? Like, is there like, what to you is like the ones like the one for them, one for me kind of thing?
the ones for me all became the separate channels because every time I tried to make them, it was like it would just hurt the channel too much. Like I love doing the podcast with Sal. I loved doing the weekly poll back when we did it with Rob. I love doing that, like just chit chat. What we're doing here, this kind of content I'd like to do where we just chit chat. So absolutely was my like push into that direction. Dungeons and Ale was we all play D&D once a week, and that's popular. Why don't we just film it? Even if it doesn't succeed, we'll just have some fun with it. But the only thing that at this point that I'm not the biggest fan of making, but I do like to make them, it's weird. It's the Comicstorian videos. Like in the morning, I normally record those between 9 to 11 a.m. That's what my time to do it before my voice gets strained or I have to jump on a dozen podcasts or something like that. And it's the most time in my day that I procrastinate like crazy. But when I'm doing them and I got the music going and I'm getting into it, I really enjoy doing them. But I don't want to get from point A to point B to start doing them. That's what I don't want to do. And then once I'm going, I'm great. I'm enjoying it. It's so weird to describe. And I think it's mostly because I've been doing it for so long. Like we're about to cross 10 years of doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And I mean, I just crossed 3,600 videos. So I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
Dude, I struggle to do one video a week. I can't even imagine.
That's why the other channels are all like one, maybe two a week. Like it's, I do one manga video, one gaming video.
I guess that kind of leads into a question that I had for you, which is, how do you have this much energy? All the content that you're producing in such a big and live persona, or at least on camera, especially when I watch Absolutely, like, what are you drinking? What are you taking to get this much like power in the day?
I've always
I think it's a good plug for all those protein like.
Oh yes, Gamer Subs. Yeah, Gamer Subs. Use our new sponsor that I got recently, Gamer Subs.
You should have told me. I would have made one of those ticking banners that said "Gamer," whatever they're called.
Gamer Subs.
Gamer Subs.
But I've always been this way since I was a kid. I always woke up at like 5:36 with like tons of energy. I always went to bed at 1 a.m. I've always just functioned this way. And my wife hates me because she's not a morning person. And I'm the kind of guy that like wakes up at 5:36. Like, all right, let's go to the gym. Let's go out and get breakfast. Let's drive around. Like I'm normally going at this rate until like 10 p.m. And I think part of that is my crazy amount of ADD. And the only way I can structure everything out is my day is regimented. Like this is at this time. This is at this time. You have this block to play games. Don't sit down and do whatever the hell you want until after 5. Like that's how I get by the day and do everything. But like, I wish I could give you an answer.
To that. ADHD is like you got to build systems.
Yeah, 100% to make it all work. But I've always had just a crazy amount of energy, just as a baseline. I wake up like this, and I'm like this until I go to bed.
Oh, I'm so jealous, dude. I try to wake up at 5:30 every day to like get a workout in. I struggle to get out of bed. Let's see. I think we had a couple
so it looks like James wants to know, have you ever looked into making more videos on non-Marvel DC series, things like Elf Quest, which James promised to buy me when they were doing a Humble Bundle digital Elf Quest thing and then never followed through. Saga, Chew, Mad Men, Miscellaneous.
I love doing videos that are non-Marvel and DC, but the only ones that have ever succeeded is Turtles and Radiant Black. It's one of the problems with Comicstorian that I don't like, which is why I do the things for me, the fun channels. The way YouTube works now is, especially, it has been moving more and more in this direction the last 5 years, but you have to pretty much do one type of video or you don't succeed. Like if you go look at my channel right now, if it's a DC character, it will do well. If it's a Marvel video, I struggle to break the views on it just because I have such a DC audience. And so if I can't even get people to watch Iron Man is a Skrull, I was doing part 2 of Secret Invasion today, I can't get people to watch Elf Quest or Saga or Chew. Very rarely do those like do well. And I try. I do things like we did Nice House in the Lake. We do Radiant Black. We do Turtles. And if they do well, I keep going. And if they don't do well, I brush them under the rug and forget they existed. But Comicstorian is the channel where I have to play the YouTube game. Yeah. Every other channel, I get to do whatever the hell I want.
I think that makes sense. You like it. It's like that. Like I said, that mentality of one for them, one for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Comicstorian is at this point all for them. I know it sounds like I don't want to do it. I still love doing it, but the way we structure the channel is all about the viewers and what the viewers want. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's with everything. If you're a famous band, you got even if you got to play the hits. Maybe do your own side project separately, but like
Yeah.
people want to hear the hits. Looks like Comics Joe said when you first started your channel and it being the same as Rob, did y'all have a friendly competition on views? Both of your channels saved me a lot of money back in the day.
We did early on. Yeah. I didn't. Rob apparently started before me, and I didn't know he existed. So did another channel called Comic Island. They were doing exactly what I do, but they started before me. I didn't know either one of them existed because they didn't come up in the search when I did my research. Early on, Rob and I would have like a fun back and forth with views, go all over the place. But when we started breaking into the more higher numbers, that race kind of lost it. Because if you ever do the analytical looks at things like Social Blade and stuff like that, Rob, me, and Variant all grow at the exact same rate. No one can overtake anybody. We're in the exact same trajectory, and we have been for 3 years.
Do you think it's because the audience is similar, if not the same, for each one of you guys' channels? Or
100%. Yeah. If people want more of an explanation, they go to Rob. If they want more of an audio drama, they go to me. I don't know what Variant's doing right now, but he changes up every occasionally. But he mostly does like the history of. But I think it's mostly the same audience, and the audience is getting smaller right now because we're in this weird period where DC movies suck, even though that we're excited, and Marvel movies just aren't on that hype level they once were. So I think we're in this weird lull while we wait for the next big thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I guess there's some selfish questions for us, because we're in the stage of building our YouTube channel. What advice do you have? Like, I've been doing a lot of research into like the algorithm. I've been trying to play the shorts game a little bit more. Like, what advice do you have for like a channel that's growing?
Right now, the way the algorithm works is you find something that you know your audience wants, and you just keep recreating that until you burn yourself out and find the next thing. Shorts work the exact same way because the way shorts work is once you get one into the algorithm, you'll get the next week of them in the algorithm, and then they'll disappear again. And you got to find the next thing. We did a TikTok series, YouTube series, where we did a guessing of the superhero at 60 seconds for shorts.
Oh, yes, I would watch those.
Yeah, it did great for like a year, and now they just don't perform at all because that's just how that type of content rotates in and out. So that's why
myself, because I did stop watching them.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is we just stopped doing them, but that's the short. Shorts are worse than normal content. When it comes to long form, you find something people like, you set it out on a day, you treat it like a TV show, and you just keep making that. That's you can't do variety too much anymore, at least in the current landscape of YouTube.
And that's why you have 5 YouTube channels.
That's exactly why I made fun. Because we wanted to make more content. We wanted to have more fun. We wanted to do more stuff, but we couldn't do it in Comicstorian anymore without damaging it. Every time we would try something, the next 3 videos would underperform. So the decision was just make channels for all of them and promote them. And now we have all these separate audiences. I love when people go to Absolutely and have no idea who Sal and me are.
Oh, you're talking about that on, I think on the video you just posted today.
Yeah, me and Sal, we get a huge kick out of it when people are like, these guys don't know anything about comics. They're never going to make it on YouTube. Right? Thank you. That's awesome. That means you found us.
That's great, dude. I mean, just to talk about it, I think it's really fun having an audience now that we have people that come back weekly or whenever we do the live views. I can't even imagine how it is to have multiple channels with completely separate audiences sometimes.
The only challenge I have with it right now is I tried to make a Discord channel for each, and I keep forgetting to check through them all to see what's going on.
That sounds like a lot.
It is at times, yeah, where you're just like, and
that's why I had to DM you on Twitter like 5 times.
Yeah, well, I don't use Twitter. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, actually, so there was one time you were on Absolutely, and you mentioned how you're not on social media anymore, and I was like, okay, cool, he doesn't hate me.
Yeah, no, I so what I realized is as the years went on, I always didn't care about the trolls. What social media would just piss me off, and I would start hate scrolling. And I would lose hours out of my day just going down this rabbit hole of like, oh, everyone hates this thing. Why? And just keep seeing all the hateful comments and all the racism, and the anti-trans and all this stuff. And I'm just, what is wrong with people? Why am I still scrolling? So I eventually just uninstalled them all, and I use them for business. That's all I do with them now. I don't scroll them. I don't look at them. And it was funny because and this was years ago, but it came more to head at the end of the 2022. Yeah, what we just came out of. Because that's when I really uninstalled them all. Because I would have this thing where I wouldn't use them for a week, but then you're like, what's going on Twitter? Let me just have a look. And it starts all over again. You start the cycle. So I just uninstalled them all finally. And I gained back like 3 hours in my day.
That's awesome. To answer Comic Show's question, if you're talking about Benny, he does play D&D and he does have a show on that.
Yep. And we had a DC version of D&D where they were Red Hood and Arsenal on an adventure across country.
I watched one where I think someone was Booster Gold.
Yeah, we started with that one. Yeah, we made our own DC universe basically.
I remember like when I was like one of the early adopters of the DC Universe TV show, and they had that TV show with like, I think it was Freddie Prinze Jr. and the guy who voices Darth Maul, where they were playing like a Dungeons and Dragons DC game, and I got really into it. And then everyone from DC Universe got laid off, so that show disappeared sadly.
It's such I have no idea what HBO is doing, because they're like, yeah, we're gonna make an app for DC. Okay, that didn't succeed. Okay, we're gonna roll that all into HBO. Okay, well now we're just gonna merge all that into Discovery. Okay,
I saw that they're like, we don't want people to think that we just have premiere content, so we're getting rid of HBO from the name.
Yeah,
so now they know we have shitty content also.
They're combining it with like TLC and they're like 90 Day Fiance channels and stuff like that.
I just want to see them like combined like DC stuff with shitty reality TV, where it's like Flip or Flop but in Gotham City.
That would be awesome.
Now, Benny, I know we're somewhat limited on time, so I did want to ask a question, maybe like leaning more into the future. As far as it goes, your channels have been doing fantastic. What are your ultimate goals for your channels, as well as where do you see yourself in the next couple years?
You know what's funny? I just had a meeting with YouTube on Monday, and they asked that exact question because it was a new partner manager.
Interesting. Cool.
So Comicstorian, I've been fortunate enough to have the success that I have had, and it's entirely because of the audience. I 100% recognize that. If nobody watched the videos, I never would have gotten to where I am. But Comicstorian is also at a very good position at this point. I just did a series of stories because our viewers are lowest they've ever been right now. And we're still pulling in like 5 million to 10 million a month. So like, it's a very fortunate position, a very lucky position that I'm in to be with this. And so my goal right now is just to get Comicstorian back to where it was at its peak. And people like to see the 18 million view video for Injustice, but that's never where we were. Comicstorian was at its peak was 70 to 100,000 of video. That's all we ever did. And like the way I've structured the channel is when that movie gets announced in 2 years, then the video does well. That's always how I've structured the channel. So that's all I want with Comicstorian. It's just got to get it back to where it was or around those numbers. Because right now we do like 40 to 50,000 on a successful video. Not bad, and I'm not complaining, and I don't want people to think I'm complaining. But if you're asking my goals, that's what that is. And my other goal is to make all those other channels have 100,000 subs and get me more plaques. I've decided to collect YouTube plaques.
You're going to be Thanos with plaques.
That's all I want. I don't even care what the revenue, and I just want the plaques. I want the plaques in the wall.
And then he's gonna mount them down into a glove.
Yeah,
and he's gonna wear it.
See, that's mine and Jordan's plan, but with hosts of Absolutely. We're just gonna collect all of you as interview guests.
Yeah.
Are you guys reaching out to Dan and Husson next? Is that the plan?
I reach out to Husson. I don't follow the I'm not too familiar with the last one, but
Dan.
I do reach out to him next, but we'll see if we get a response. I mean, I do a lot of fishing.
Dan's always in the background, so he fills in when somebody can't be on the shows.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to interrupt. So what happens is when he shows up at the shows, he'll just sit there until I go, Dan, what's your thoughts?
Dude, that's us on our first couple interviews with other guests on here. I think our first one we had Omar talking for like almost an hour and a half straight, and we went, that's cool.
You get used to the podcast game of understanding where the proper part to interrupt is. Mm-hmm. And where you're just talking over someone. And I admit I'm very bad about talking over people, but I do try to catch myself and stop it. And you know how it is. You just get excited. Yeah. You just want to talk.
Yeah. It also helps when like I think Jordan has gotten better, myself too, with not getting like not fangirling or getting like stage fright when we're interviewing someone that we've watched for years. I remember on our Sal interview, like Jordan, I know he's watched Sal for like what is it, like 8 years now? 10 like how many years?
Close about 8 years.
Yeah. So like I know that was like yeah, I mean, it's cool to meet our heroes, though. You know what I mean? Because like our channel started out because we worked together, and then I got let go around the pandemic time, and then we could never see each other, and I missed talking about comics with people, so we would just Zoom each other to talk about comics, and then finally we were like, hey, let's record it, and then that led to eventually interviewings, which led to actual content that we make now, like book reviews, top 10 list, that kind of stuff. But it's just been fun because it's a hobby that like you get to see growth. And then now we're getting people like we're starting to build a fan base where people are like, hey, I love your content, or like the same people are coming back to, comment on videos and things like that. And it's just been awesome to see it grow.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing great from what I can see here. I got the channel pulled up with the link.
It's like I've been watching you guys' analytics for the last 30 minutes, seeing if it's worth my time to even be here. So
no, not at all. No, I mean, like I said, I love doing this type of content. When the weekly poll ended all the way back in like 2018, or it was Endgame, because Endgame was the last show we did with that. It was like 6 months later, I called up Sal and I'm like, dude, I just miss chatting. Sal, how have you been, man? Just tell me about yourself. Do you want to talk comics? And that's how we made Absolutely.
Dude, I'm glad. I'm so happy Sal gave us the pass for you to be on our show.
Because honestly, that would have crushed me if he didn't like us.
No, like I said, I was explaining to you guys out there. Sal's willing to do a lot more of these than I am. So I normally see if he's been on the show first.
Yeah.
Like, because he's on 2 days out of the week on my shows, and then I'll call him up and be like, hey, do you want to do an extra episode? He's like, oh man, I got to be on this show. Like, what are you doing? I just like getting on shows.
he's a hustler.
Yeah, he just likes talking, and I'm a sucker because I like listening to him talk.
So Run Me Through wants to know, do you have any? So his content on Comicstorian is primarily dramatic audio dramas of famous comic book stories from Marvel and DC. Do you have anything with Wolverine?
I am a fan of Wolverine, but he's never really super performed. So most of my Wolverine content is in the last like 5 to 10 years kind of a thing. I've done some Wolverine Max. I've done some pretty much 2010 onward Wolverine. Not a massive amount. I'm trying to get caught up right now on the current stuff with Benjamin Percy. Because I really like what he's doing with that one. My only complaint with that one is Wolverine's too happy and he shouldn't be. But come on, think about it. We're going to the Fall of Krakoa, but the Krakoa, the whole thing, right? When was the last time you saw Wolverine happy? Like, that's not how this is supposed to go. Remember what happened when Batman got happy? We got Rick Grayson. So I don't want to know where this is going to go, Wolverine.
Really fast while we're here, just because I wanted to show off the books that I got this week. So I bought Fail Safe by Chip Zdarsky, the newest Batman one.
Oh, the book came out?
So I haven't read any of this. I'm excited to read it.
Let me spoil it.
I
just go watch his video.
He's gonna link it, right?
I'm gonna go buy
I know like the big thing is like Batman surviving a fall from space. So
shut up. I already talked about it with Sal. Don't ruin it for Benny.
No, you haven't read it. I'm sorry.
No, he already read it. He did the
I'm literally hitting order on Amazon right now.
And then because I've been wanting to buy it, and then Omar from Near Mint Condition just did an interview with Chip Zdarsky, and I was like, okay, I gotta buy his Batman run. And then I bought Mark Waid's World's Finest. After the news announcements that they're making they're making World's Finest like a line for Black Label. They're gonna make a World's Finest Teen Titans, and then a Superman: The Death of Lex Luthor storyline. So I thought I should
that because that Mark Waid run is incredible, and it feels like he should just get to do his own DC universe with that.
And I think that's what they're doing with his own line of World's Finest stuff. So
because there's some crazy stuff in that ties into other things that he's written that you're just like, is this a canon? What's going on?
So I'm excited.
Shout out to James. He just posted the link for Comicstorian's Filthy video. So
James's superpower is he can post a link within 5 seconds. I'll be like, what's this obscure cartoon from the 80s? Links the trailer. He is a superhuman.
Dude, should I push the limits right now? James, can you link Los Super Amigos, the theme song that they play from a Puerto Rican TV show? I have it on my phone, by the way.
Start the timer.
And hey Siri, start the timer.
So he said, what happened to Red Hood? I read Task Force Z and Left for Texas. I haven't read anything about him since. Do you have a pitch for a Red Hood series?
I did, and I don't remember it now. For Red Hood series, but he's in the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing.
Okay,
Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. Joker comes back from Texas, and in the first issue, we discover that there are 2 Jokers, and Jason finally is trying to get revenge on the Joker. He also shows up in. There was a recent book that came out, which was a one-off. It was It's Batman something, but Batman wasn't in it. But it was Black Lightning, Katana, and Jason. And Jason was chasing Bane to get revenge for what happened to Alfred.
Okay.
So Jason is still floating between books. He needs a Red Hood book, though, because I shouldn't have to tell you to follow Jason's story. Go to Joker, the man who stopped laughing.
Dude, the Red Hood Rebirth stuff was awesome. I loved how it was like a darkened version of the Trinity. So I thought he was pretty good.
On. They continued that in webtoons, and it's awesome. If you don't, I know, because you guys want the big books, but get your phone. You guys got phones, right? Get your phone. Download webtoons. It's free to read, and it's awesome. It continues the Dark Trinity.
Okay,
like DC
I think I'll have to check
licensed
that
it
out.
out, and they're just writing his whole story. I'm at a point right now where they became the Justice League. The Justice League took a break, and it's Red Hood and the Dark Trinity for a week.
That's so sick. Wade's let's see. Yeah, Wade's death of Luthor should be awesome. And I heard his Captain Shazam run is awesome, or is supposed to be really good. I haven't read any of that yet.
I just like to say, I put it, yeah, they're Los Super Amigos. It's a Puerto Rican live action, kind of like knockoff. It's really fun. I'll see if I can find a link for it eventually. But yeah, you have classic superheroes such as Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Kung Fu, all on the show. It's a great little segment.
Just like, I guess, a random question. Was there ever a story that you read and you didn't like, but you knew would be successful, so you still had to go through with doing the audio drama for it?
I only did that once, and that was
Okay.
the Powers one by Brian Michael Bendis, because that was right when the show got announced that it was coming out, so I decided to do that. I didn't like the story, and I covered it, and I never felt good about it, so I never did it again. I didn't have fun reading it. Like when somebody asked me to do a book, and I'm like, if I don't like the story, I don't cover it. That's how I stay enjoying what I'm doing. Because whenever we cover a story, it's because I like the story. It's not because I'm just randomly grabbing something I think will succeed. That's why we didn't do anything with Ant-Man, and we didn't do anything with Shazam, because I haven't liked anything they've been in recently.
Yeah, I feel that. I was like going through a phase where I was trying to buy like a new book before every superhero movie came out related to that. And then Quantumania came out, and I was like, I don't ever really want to read an Ant-Man book. Like I have no interest in it.
The Scott Lang stuff is good, but it's old now. Like it's really old. So so I got a question for you, Jake.
Yes.
Right behind your head is what appears to be a Marvel omnibus, but the logo looks like Ratchet and Clank. So what is that?
Which
other side? That one.
This one?
No, back two.
This one?
One more. That looks like Ratchet and Clank, that angle.
Oh, yeah, it does look like Ratchet and Clank. It's Fantastic Four, Jonathan Hickman, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so Jonathan, I haven't read this yet. So essentially, Jonathan Hickman has a through line from Fantastic Four 1, Secret Warriors. So Secret Warriors, which is a Nick Fury book where he kind of has like a secret team, then Fantastic Four 1 and 2, then Avengers 1 and 2, and then it all culminates in Secret Wars. Yeah. I have the last one to get. Well, Secret Warriors and Avengers 2 are being reprint this year, so then I'll be able to do a huge Hickman readathon.
Okay, read the whole thing in one sitting. Because I'm just
maybe a couple sittings.
I'm reading one sitting. I sit right down and you should put the camera on, just let people read it with you, and they can just see your reaction. What
idea?
Hi guys. Yeah, that what?
I've been like going through shorts and seeing what shorts are popular, and like I feel like some of the shorts that do really well are the ones in kind of like the Rob's, like the Rob or yours, where it's like something dramatic about a hero with a cool voice. So I just made my first short where I tried to get a Comicstorian voice.
Yeah, those are the ones that do the best. It's like whatever crazy thing. Like we just did a short for Miles Morales gets a lightsaber. If you read Miles 5, he unlocks a new power. It's lightning swords.
Oh, ready? Let's test James right now. If you want to know where Sal is, you can watch our live stream with Sal. Let's see how quickly it takes him to link the link to that one. That's awesome. Jordan, you had a book to show off, right? Is it on your desk? Is it ready?
Yeah. dude,
I went upstairs. I was looking at my books, and I'm like, I haven't bought a hardcover in a little while. I don't know what I could grab.
Yeah, I've taken a pause from buying books after I saw my credit card.
Did you guys see how fast that was? Look at
Well,
that.
that's
He
on your
linked it.
channel. I can do that. Look, just go here. You just click this, and then I just go to videos and search sell. There it is. There, look, I got you. Oh, I can't. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. I gotta go over here. There you go.
You know what? You're right, James. It's not that impressive. I'm gonna make Benny a mod on our channel also.
All right, Benny, you're gonna be on all of our live streams from now on, correct?
Oh yeah, that'll
Just
work. Yeah.
monitoring
I'll just
everything,
pop in, keep you guys company, ask you guys questions.
Yeah. So in order to make you your mod, I need to know what your YouTube channel is called. What's this called again?
Well, mine Comicstorian.
I know.
Oh,
Obviously,
okay.
I know it's Comicstorian.
I'm
I
verified.
made sure to
Look at
link.
that.
I
Look
made
at
sure
that
to link
check
every
mark.
channel of yours I could find in the description for the YouTube video because I thought, you know, our audience is so huge, you could use the publicity.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So dumb, Jake. I swear. You know, in all fairness,
He's
Sal
doing
did
it
say,
right. You got to be full of yourself to do this job. You then go home and cry in a pillow at night, being like, "Everyone hates me." But while you're alive, you've got to be full of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that though, because it's like I was making a video. I did like top 10 best DC omnibus for beginners. And I was like, I think it's easy to have that imposter syndrome where you're like, I mean, I don't know the most about it, but I'm also like, I know enough to help out a beginner, you know? So you kind of got to power through that imposter syndrome.
Dude, I still have imposter syndrome. It was like 2021. I'm not even joking, right? Because I don't try to get involved in too much stuff. I kind of keep to myself, do my videos. I show up to the cons and stuff like that. I only started to realize how big Comicstorian had actually gotten around 2021. And I'm not joking. And it's because Dan, my producer, came to me and said, let's start a TikTok. And I'm like, I don't want to start a TikTok. That sounds dumb as hell. Why would I want to make 60-second videos? Which is what I do primarily now. But but what he showed me was Comicstorian's a hashtag on there. And I was like, what the hell? There wasn't a ton of channels, but I'm like, at what point did I become a hashtag?
Funnily enough, I deleted TikTok because that was the one social media that was sucking hours out of my time.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would have
or do you not end up spending 20 minutes to find one interesting TikTok that you were like, oh, that was worth me watching?
And then you don't even remember it, you know? Like for me, it was like I'd have a 20-minute break from work and I'd be TikToking, and then I felt like my 20-minute break was over like that, you know? Like it just sucked it out of it. But I re-downloaded it last night because I started making more shorts for our YouTube, and then someone reached out to me that has a channel named OmniDog, and he's like, hey, you should also put your shorts on TikTok. And I used the Comics Explain and Comicstorian as hashtags.
It was only then that I really started to realize how big of a reach Rob and I had gotten our channels to. Because like I said, for someone who makes YouTube videos, I don't watch any comic book content. Most of the time I watch like 3-hour like freaking things about like some weird thing, like a weird law from the 1950s. Oh, there was a law where you could launch cows across the state. Oh, let's
quick, James, link the legal precedent for that law.
So like that's what I watch on YouTube, or I'll watch like what was his name? Eddie Burbank just did a whole thing on like ghost kitchens. Like that's the stuff I watch. I don't watch comic book stuff. So I'm out of my own bubble, and that's why I use my comments to figure out what content they want. So I'll take their suggestions, read those comics, and then decide if I'm doing them. But it's because I just read comics and I just make videos. And that's also why I was telling you before, I don't normally jump on shows where they want to have political debates, because I don't follow any of those debates. That's the big, I have my opinions and that's it. And I don't get on Twitter and browse all that stuff for 8 hours. So
I guess that kind of leads to another question. Like, YouTube claims that tags aren't that important. Is that true? Or are tags, because like I recently started paying like $3 a month for a thing called like TubeBuddy, and then I got the free tier of like vidIQ, which is supposed to help me find the right tags. Are tags important? Are they not important? Like,
I've noticed that they can be, but that when they do seem to work is so infrequent that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you're not doing them, I wouldn't panic too much. But if you do want to do them, there's that occasional video that'll get a little extra traction. So
interesting.
It's a lot to learn, man. I feel like being a YouTuber is like I've learned like video editing. I've learned Photoshop and Canva to make thumbnails. I've learned like you have to learn so many random skills to like all tie it in together, you know?
Jake is definitely more on the let's build a channel side, and I'm more on I just want to make content that I like side. So
See, that's where I am now, Jordan. I
Yeah.
did like years of the business side. Make a channel, what's the structure, what's the release schedule, how do we do all this? And it
mhm.
just got to a point where it's just you do get burned out on that. Or you make 8 other channels. I mean, you'll hit one of them. if you make-
So
I think for me, I'm currently in school as a marketing major, and to me, the watching it grow, I don't really care ever about making money. I think for me, if I ever made $1 doing this, that would be all I'd ever need. Like, I don't think, like it'd just be fun for me. But watching it grow and seeing like what trends and what people want to watch, like, is interesting to me. So it's
Right.
kind of just like a little microcosm for me.
yeah, Jake's definitely more on the like let's analyze how is this video doing, what tags are working for us, what videos would do best. And then I go over to his house every now and then. I'll film a video for him for whatever content he likes. Like we did what we do, top 10 absolute for new beginners.
I
Top
the
20.
two that we just did, the last 2 videos were top DC absolutes that and then top 10 DC omnis for beginners.
Yeah.
There you go. You're catering into your market. And there is a market for it. Like when Gen Mint started to get larger doing the omnibuses and the statues and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was a market for that. Like I have those statues all over the place.
Which, if you want to watch our Gem Mint interview, you can watch it right here, right, James?
I think Benny's gonna race him and link it first.
I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can do it.
Yeah, and for me, I make more like reviews. So I released like a Batman Earth 1 review because I love the Earth 1 series. This Sunday I should
Did I
have
win?
a Silver Surfer. I just
Oh, you know
saw-
what? Only
I saw
mods can
James-
post links. I don't know if it lets
Yeah.
you post a link, but I think you won.
Oh, 'cause
I'm gonna
mine
say
shows
you
that I
won.
came right in front of him.
Yes, don't clip he came right in front of him because that could be taken out of context.
Oh no, it's fine. Take it out of context. Let's see.
So
I'm
it sounds
gonna screen grab this. Okay, I'm gonna screen grab this.
See, he's making content that he wants to make, content for himself now. Look at this.
All right, see, and in the private chat, you guys can verify.
Oh, I got a link.
so Jake, do you know what
Get
this sounds
Gazio
like?
for free. What I got? Oh, there we go. Boom.
So when we did our interview with Sal, he said that he would be a permanent host on the Brave and the Boys from here on out, and Benny will now be our secondary moderator for the
Okay,
chat.
that sounds
So
great.
we're slowly building our
Oh my
channel
God,
that
Benny
way.
has to be right. Just absorbing my crew. Got it.
Okay, here we go. So everyone can see.
Perfect. I love it. But yeah, Benny, I think
I'll
we
give
went-
it to James though. He wrote out what it was. I just threw the link in there, so you know.
Benny, I think we went over a little bit of our allotted time. I don't know if you're still okay with staying on or you got to get going.
I do have a hungry wife who's messaging me asking what's going on.
Okay. So it does sound like
Okay,
it's
man.
time to
Well,
start
this
wrapping
was-
it up, Jake.
This was a blast. Was there any last minute questions you wanted to ask Jordan that we didn't get to?
Dude, I asked my questions and you asked the majority of the ones that I was interested in too. So
Just for fun, can you say welcome to the Brave and the Boys podcast in your Comicstorian voice?
Welcome to the Brave and the Bold. What is it?
Brave and the Boys.
Brave and the Boys.
Welcome to the Brave and the Boys 60% podcast.
Oh,
That's
thank you so
awesome,
much
man.
for being on.
Guys,
with
thank
us,
you.
Benny.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Oh, my
Please remember to
talent's amazing.
like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Oh,
Hello, friend.
Me out. She always goes crazy when I do this shit. It's not like this.
what a cutie. We just bought one of those things for like cat walls where it's like little boxes and shelves and like little stairs like for the wall, and our cat is in heaven right now playing with them.
Oh
ones that
yeah,
you,
I
attach-
get her toys all the time. I don't have kids. I don't plan on having kids. So this cat gets treated like a queen.
I'll end it on this last joke that I read, but it was pets are the new plants. Plants are the new pets, pets are the new kids, and kids are the new exotic animal where you have to be rich or crazy to have them.
Sounds about right.
So yes, my cat Vader is my child.
Comics Joe knows the breed just from looking. Yeah, my wife got 2 Bengals. She literally her entire first 2 years of streaming was spent on these cats.
That's awesome, man. Well,
Awesome,
thank you
man.
so much. Guys, have a great night and stay brave.
And stay bold.
And stay boys.